ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Planning to ride Metro Transit? Starting Saturday, August 22nd, quarterly service changes will take effect on some bus and rail routes. These regular updates help Metro Transit match service to customer needs and make the best use of available resources. Before you travel, check to see if your route is affected. Updated schedules and a summary of all service changes are available now at metrotransit.org. Again, find those changes at metrotransit.org.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time. Time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free at one of 6 express bus sites and take a nonstop air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. Or take one of the 3 regular bus routes that serve the fairgrounds. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state-fair. That's metrotransit.org/state-fair.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for a chance for thunderstorms tonight with a low around 64, Friday sunny with a high near 82, and Saturday sunny with a high around 80. Savor the excellence at Maverick's Real Roast Beef in Roseville. Elevate your taste buds with their range of sandwiches from the savory Philly steak to tempting turkey bacon avocado. Explore crispy chicken, fish, brisket, and pulled pork options. Check out mavericksbeef.com or visit them off Lexington in Roseville. That's Maverick's Real Roast Beef.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, I want to bring our friend and producer, Miisko on here, and I want to talk a little bit about what's going on. First off, you know, we got the countdown for the fair, and we also have things happening right now, Miisko. Maybe we can do a quick report on that because we'd like people to get involved with this if they're driving home and head to the Indian Center. Can you give us an update on what's happening here in the Twin Cities and along with our relatives, with our people that we really partner with?
Bonjour, Gakanuia. Miisko here. I said hello, everyone. We are super excited. Tonight, the Indigenous Protectors Movement are hosting a panel discussion, an event at the Minneapolis American Indian Center called Our Relationship to Pipestone, Culture, Ceremony, and Protection. Again, that's today, August 20th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Minneapolis American Indian Center. So if you're heading home, just put it in your GPS. That's 1530 East Franklin Avenue. It's our relation to pipestone, culture, ceremony, and protection, a community panel discussion exploring the cultural and spiritual significance of pipestone, our responsibilities to the sacred place, and the importance of protecting it for future generations. The evening will center Indigenous voices, knowledge, and relationships to pipestone with Indian tacos catered by Powwow Grounds. So again, if you're on your way home, just make a quick detour to the Minneapolis American Indian Center. Protecting pipestone is incredibly important. And the public comment period ends tomorrow. And so here you will learn about why pipestone is important and what you can do to help out.
Yeah, excellent report. And one of the things we want to talk about, Pipestone is one of the only place in the world. So if you ever see a pipe or anything made from pipestone, made from that rock, that's come from one place. And they want to put, of course, a pipeline right through our sacred area there. It's been sacred for so many thousands of years, and so again, here we are dealing with where we have to we have to beg people please not to go through our graveyards or our sacred spots. And so any support you can give, look that up, and maybe we'll have a little more information by the last segment and talk about where people can give their own comment too. So that's something that we can probably do a little later in the show. Hey, Miisko, we got our friend Tony coming on here with Nashke Games, and really exciting. And then Wendy ending the show. And one of the things I wanted to bring up too is we're really excited. I know you'll be there Thursday at the Minnesota State Fair, and then you'll also be there on the 30th. I got your tickets, so I can't wait to give those to you. And the Thursday, the 28th, will be at the Minnesota State Fair at Native Roots Trading Post at the West End Market. And one of the things I just noticed, which is really cool, the Minnesota State Fair, if you Google our store, they have an interactive map that shows you exactly where we are. And I was shocked to see that. Somebody sent that to me. It has a picture of our booth, and it also has the map where we are. So that's amazing. And that'll probably be less work for you, Miisko, when you make our posters. Hoa.
Hoa.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the Minnesota State Fair is happening. We're really excited. Get out there. Again, Native Roots Trading Post is out there, and also on the 30th, all day, right by the grandstand, there will be a lot of things going on there when it comes to we're going to have booths. We're going to have, one of the things I just heard today, and I don't know if this is a secret or not, but we talked to Gary Farmer, but they're going to be playing out there at the end of the show on the 30th too. So we'll be able to see a quick preview of those guys jamming. And I know New Native Theater is doing a play, and you'll be able to meet us out there too. And Nashke Games will be we'll be tabling there, and then we'll be sending maps so you can get to Native Roots Trading Post to buy these games and support that great organization. We're going to have Tony on just a little bit. One of the things that's really exciting, Miisko, one of the things, I'm not sure, but you danced at the State Fair for a couple of years. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and that group? Because I think they're out there every year at the market. What, I can't remember what the All World Market, or I can't remember what that's called.
Yeah, I think it's called the International Bazaar, and I believe it's on the southeastern part. It's super fun. I was always invited by Larry Yazzie for a few years, and then I took a few years off of dancing. But he's always there. He brings his daughter. He brings local dancers, and he also has a dance troupe that he travels all around the world with. And so to be able to dance with him was an extremely great opportunity for myself as a dancer. But not only have I danced at the International Bazaar, I've also danced at the Patch Park, where all of the fun, incredible Indigenous Peoples Day activities will be held. And again, we're inviting you. That's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday, August 30th, to come and taste the food, watch performances, watch cultural indigenous dance performances, but also theater dances. Like you said, New Native Theater will be out there. We'll be out there with the circle, and we're also there as Native Roots. And so we, again, inviting everyone August 30th, State Fair at Dan Patch Park.
Hey, it's really cool to see your camera. I see Patrick, or who is that behind you? That's
Brett.
Brett.
So
Yeah.
fun. It's I've been training to be on the board, and so Brett has been teaching me a lot here.
Yeah, well, he's a good teacher, and that's I'm glad that you're doing that. And one of the things I want to say about that, if you don't mind, I think it's so important, and it's so important to be on these progressive stations and talk like this. And what I'm going to say is that there's not enough women in radio, so it's great to see you learning the board and learning the insights, so you can do some time at the station and help out and learn a new skill. I think it's so important, and really cool how you come on the air now too and talk. It's something that hopefully AM 950 and Civic Media and all our other stations out there can leave a legacy of young women working in radio, and you're doing such a great job. And I know there's a lot to learn.
Yeah, like I always bring up, you taught me since my high school teen years, which are very formative years, how incredibly important Native voices are in the media. I think one thing I wrote down here is our communities have always had stories to tell, and Native media makes sure those stories are heard. And in the past, we have not always had control over the narrative, but right now it's the perfect time. There's technology and there's opportunities, and I'm grateful that I'm here to be presented these opportunities, and I'm hoping to take advantage of that.
Well, you are, and you're doing great, and people are excited, and they're going to have a chance to meet you Thursday and also Sunday, and you'll be signing autographs, no doubt, and people. But what I always like too, and I'm going to mention this real quick, is that whenever I saw a politician or somebody important speaking to Native Americans that was Native American, I really always thanked like the lieutenant governor, and when she was state representative, I really thanked her about being there, and for our students to see somebody that looks like them doing the work. And I'm going to say that about you too. It's so important for the young ones to see you with the headphones on and running the show and being on air. So I just give you a big Pinigigi. Thank you so much, Miisko.
Pinigigi, right back at you, Pilot.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. Up next, Tony with Nashke Games. Ho!
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Planning to ride Metro Transit? Starting Saturday, August 22nd, quarterly service changes will take effect on some bus and rail routes. These regular updates help Metro Transit match service to customer needs and make the best use of available resources. Before you travel, check to see if your route is affected. Updated schedules and a summary of all service changes are available now at metrotransit.org. Again, find those changes at metrotransit.org.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. I'm really excited. This is going to be the third time I've seen Tony today, and I want to just say, are you sick of me yet there, Tony? Welcome to Native Roots Radio.
Oh, Boozhoo, no, never get enough of Robert Pilot. So thanks for having me on this evening.
Too kind. Hey, you're CEO of Nashke Native Games, and I want to talk a little bit about that, but I also want to talk about the fair. You're going to be there, and your games are going to be there at Native Roots Trading Post. And let's talk about how this all got started, especially for our new listeners to hear, and talk a little bit about these Native games that are so popular. It's an amazing thing. It really is. So again, Tony, thanks for being on.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, thanks for having me. It got started about 4 or 5 years ago. I was working at Noka School District, tasked with working with our Native youth and providing some cultural enrichment for them. And I was super stoked. That's my jam, culture and language, and working with our youth. I thought this is going to be a match made in heaven. Turns out that our relatives living in the suburbs aren't as stoked about learning about Native culture and languages as I thought they might be. And then I found out trying to teach on the chalkboard just goes nowhere. So just some things happened, and I brought in a moccasin game, and all of a sudden the kids started asking questions, and I'm like, hey, I'm onto something here. And got to be a part of a fellowship that helps early stage impact entrepreneurs, and went through that 9-month program, and then boom, we launched. And I have just been received with open arms, not only for our community, which we started for, but really with educators looking to support Native content and not really sure how to do that. They've really been keeping us busy, and yeah, it's been a wonderful whirlwind.
Yeah, I've always liked the games, and I like the concept. What was really interesting, and I think I've told you this, Tony, last year when we had your games in our booth, I was a little confused on the games, and what really, really, really excited me, is former young students that are 12, 13 years old came up and showed us how to play the games and how they were played. And we're excited to do that. And so right then and there, it was like 100%. You have something going on. They were excited to teach us old people, or I should say I was old. My daughter's not that old, but that was the amazing proof in the pudding.
Yeah, it's through that joy, right? And we've been all through the state and the country, and even in Canada, and you see the engagement when we're doing this. And, it's great to hear, but not surprised that some of those students that we've been working with came over and were able to kind of give you a heads up. We have two different really base genres of game. We have reimagined traditional games. So these are games people across the United States have been playing for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? And when I was working in the school district, a lot of my students didn't even know about these games, and that's who we are. That's our culture. So, and then we have some contemporary games, play on some real fun ones like Beneshiug is our version of Go Fish, and you can play the whole game with one sentence. Go Wapaman. Do you see this bird? So, just the catalyst to talk about language, culture, stories. I'm just having a blast getting the word out. So, thanks again for having me out.
Yeah, it's interesting too. There's many versions, I believe, of the moccasin game. I know Ho-Chunks are really into that, and I know other nations are too. And you have the moccasin game too, don't you still?
Yeah, it's one of our reimagined traditional games, and I think it's important to talk about. This gives us the avenue to talk about culture and games, and because that is a game our people have been playing for hundreds of years, there's cultural teachings around that, right? So that game, in at least our communities, is a men's game, and women don't play that game. But None of my students really knew about that game, and we were losing it. So I always say "Akawe Asema," right? We always start with tobacco. So we went to elders in our community and told them what we were doing, and asked them about, hey, can we do this in a good way because of these cultural teachings? And they came back and said, this is not the moccasin game, right? It's a very tuned down version to make awareness, right? So if youth find this game something that they want to learn more about, they can go to elders. So yeah, we do have a very broken down version. It's one of our flagship games. Plays great with K through high school. There's always a lot of excitement around the moccasin game.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things too, it was really cool, and I do believe it was way. We had those, and it looked like things that you could give a student and how they feel, and they were able to speak in a native language on how they felt. And there was some counselors that came in and scooped those up. It was really amazing to see. They knew exactly what it was.
Yeah, we get a lot of feedback about them. There are social emotional learning stuffies, and they have the Ojibwe language for the feelings. Nim and Wayndom, I'm feeling happy, or Kashkeendom, I'm feeling sad right now. And we have 5 emotions that come with that. And I hear from people all over, like, say, hey, we use these to start off our work meetings. Like, everyone grabs an emotion and kind of talks about why they're feeling that way. So the communities have found many different ways to use them. But definitely, I think it's important for Native kids to be able to see the representation, and that's a great way to start your language journey.
Yeah, it's interesting too, being a urban Indian. I feel like, well, and I have Ojibwe grandkids that are Ho-Chunk too, but are Ojibwe too. And I seem to like kind of secondhandly learn other tribes' languages too, whether it's greetings or thank you and all that. And how is that? How do the native kids in general kind of are excited when they learn another language like Ojibwe?
Yeah, it's a part of identity, right? When I was working with those students, they were all super proud to tell me they were Native. Maybe Dakota Ojibwe, maybe, hey, I'm from Red Lake or Shakopee. But as we started talking about culture and language, it became apparent to me that a lot of the students really weren't too sure about what they were proud of, right? They just knew they were Indian. So as we introduced the language and the culture and the protocols, that builds their identity, and they just love it. And even the students that we work with, I'm Ojibwe, and the primary work we do is in Ojibwe, but those Dakota kids love to pick up the Ojibwe too. And we have a saying that one word could save our language, right? And it's a very sacred word, and we go through this big process. And when we share it with them, it's bugid, and that's to fart. And they just all love that, right? Everyone loves to fart, and now they got some words to be able to share that in Ojibwe.
Yeah, that's funny. I think we can say that on the air. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Again, I want to keep you for another segment, but I also want a couple times for people to, that are driving and that, have their cell phone handy while they're driving in their other hand, to look up your website and how they can find out more information. Can you spell it out for us?
Yes, Nashke.com. Nashke, in our dictionary, it says behold. That's what it means. But it's just like, look, check it out. Look over here.
Yeah. Wow. Let's talk a little bit more too. You're going to be at the fair, and what does that look like? Because I know there's people, young ones and old ones, that are around your booth, just amazed, learning the game. How exciting is that? And how exciting is it going to be at the state fair again?
It's just a great atmosphere. This will be our 3rd year. Just having a really good time. We're going to be at Math on the Stick from 10 to 1, and there we get to share our games, our traditional games, the moccasin game and snake game, with fairgoers, showing how you can incorporate math principles into those games. And then we're also going to be over at Dan Patch celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day from 9 to 5. We'll have a whole bunch of different of our games there to show you what we're all about. We'll have a little contest there. You can win prizes. We'll have a large part of our staff there to share anything that you're interested to know about culture and language, if we can help share that with you too. So it's always exciting. being there with our community, having that day recognized is just an honor to be there.
You know, it's really interesting. Yesterday, I believe we had our friend Barb Fabre on. I don't know if you know her, but she's Ojibwe up there, and their group for young people does a box called Indigenous Box, and they send out, it's like a subscription, and they send out things for really, really young learners and their parents to learn, whether it's, you know, this is what happens in winter, or this is things like that. That's something people jump on your website can maybe even do, is, you know, get one game at a time and work it out with the family. And it's, I just, it was such a simple but great idea that you had, and it's really taken off. And I'm just proud to know you and have you do that for our community in such a good, humbling way.
Well, I appreciate that. And moreover, we're not, you know, we got to pay bills, but we're all about access to language. If people do make it to our website and they go to our resource page, we have a ton of different downloadables and videos and things that you don't have to purchase our games to be exposed to that language and culture. So yeah, navigate over there. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. More than happy to connect you somewhere or do whatever we can to get you what you're looking for.
Hey, we are with our friend Tony Drews of Nashke Games, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the games and maybe a little bit of something else he does too for the community. I saw him about today. We could probably talk about that. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free at one of 6 express bus sites and take a nonstop air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. Or take one of the 3 regular bus routes that serve the fairgrounds. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state-fair. That's metrotransit.org/state-fair.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations. I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, this is Robert Pilot, host of Native Roots Radio. The Minnesota State Fair is more than food on a stick. It's a chance to celebrate Native culture and voices. On August 31st and September 1st, Native folk and blues rocker Keith Sokola and the Rangers, with special guest Gary Farmer, play the prize stage at 8 p.m. both nights. This concert is free with fair admission. The State Fair runs August 27th through September 7th. Get your tickets at mnstatefair.org. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Planning to ride Metro Transit? Starting Saturday, August 22nd, quarterly service changes will take effect on some bus and rail routes. These regular updates help Metro Transit match service to customer needs and make the best use of available resources. Before you travel, check to see if your route is affected. Updated schedules and a summary of all service changes are available now at metrotransit.org. Again, find those changes at metrotransit.org. With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for a chance for thunderstorms tonight with a low around 64, Friday sunny with a high near 82, and Saturday sunny with a high around 80. Discover perfection at Maverick's Real Roast Beef in Roseville. From Philly cheesesteak to crispy chicken, every bite is exceptional. Add freshly cut fries or rings for a winning combo. Visit mavericksbeef.com or find them off Lexington and Roseville. Unforgettable sandwiches. That's Maverick's Real Roast Beef.
This is AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we are here with our friend Tony Drews of Nashke Games. I'm going to ask our producer to come on real quick, our young producer, Miisko, and see if she's got a quick question, because it's always good to get a good perspective, especially from a young person. Miisko, are you there? Oh, there she is.
Bonjour. Hi, my name is Miisko. I believe I talked to you a few weeks ago on the phone. And it's great to put a face to the name. I've seen you for so many years working at Tawahe. And I didn't know you did Nashke Games. I used to work at the Indian Center, and we had one of the games there. And I used to do youth programming. And so it's great to, again, put a face to the name, and just grateful to have you on the show here.
Yeah, ditto.
I guess one question I have is, what is one way, as a young person myself, getting into the community and learning about our culture and history, how can I support, Native youth and the future generations?
Boy, that's a great question. I think it all starts with identity, right? Helping our youth get stronger identity to whatever they are, if it's just Native American identity or Ho-Chunk or Ojibwe, supporting them in their roles however they can. When I wanted to learn language, it was like, go find an elder. Well, that's great advice, but it's a little hard for people that aren't a part of the community that want to be. So, making connections and following that through. If you got a young person that wants to learn the language, not telling them about the language tables, but bringing them, or not telling them about the elders, but making that connection, because those elders want to teach, right? But it's very intimidating for young people or people that don't feel that they know enough about their culture and language to pick up the phone or to make those blind calls. So I think that's a great way to start. There's so many other ways, but that just hops out to me right off the bat.
Wow, that was pretty profound, if you ask me. That seriously, Miisko, do you have another question? Miisko's at our flag station AM 950 and learning the tricks to the trade, and it's great to have her as a producer and on air too, to get a young person's perspective. Miisko, do you have another question?
I think my next question would be, again, as I'm in my mid-20s and I'm just getting into the community, doing work in the community. What advice would you give someone my age to, break into organizations and start their own organizations or their own projects that they can create a legacy or pass it on?
Yeah, in part of the presentations that I do in schools and with my own kids, the number one thing that I say is relationships, right? And having authentic, strong relationships. And if that means getting on the emergency call list over at Indayung for a couple of years and getting into that community, the Native American homeless community, and calling up different agencies and just getting involved. the community has been so good to me. And I've been a part of the active my whole professional life. And it's just about making strong, authentic relationships. I think that's the key to success in anything, including what we're talking about here today.
Yeah, that's really good. Really good. I really think that your forte and somewhat my forte has been relationships that we've gandered over the years here with our relatives. Tony, talk for a minute because I'm about to sneeze.
Well, I'd like to share something that I don't feel like I get to talk enough of, but here at Nashke Games, we've been doing this work now for about 3 years, and giving back is a very important part of our community and what we do. And within those 3 years, we've already donated $35,000 back into the community. Most of that goes to individual scholarships for our youth. So we're really super proud of that. David Samabun is one of the others that kind of helped me get going on some of our traditional games. And we just gave out 2 $500 scholarships to the David Sam Scholarship in his memory. So yeah, we're just really thrilled about what we can give back to the community.
Well, that's a really good segue to what I wanted to talk to, and thanks for doing that. I had a sneezing attack there, and you did very well. Thank you. Hey, so let's talk a little bit. I saw you earlier today. Let's talk a little bit about Tawahi, and I really love you, Nikki, and the whole crew there. What a nice little get together today, and what a great organization that I happen to know about, but you work with.
Yeah, we're doing really good things over at Tawahi. I manage the American Indian Family Empowerment Program Fund, and earlier when I talked about getting an opportunity to get a fellowship, even before that, I got an investment from the Tawahi Foundation. And our investments or grants, I like the word investment. It really shows not a power dynamic. The Tawahi Foundation's investing into our community. But I received an investment before I started working there to bring all of our games to a pilot so we could really see the MVP and see if this is something that was going to work out. So really, Nashke Games started with a Tawahi investment. We have 2 grant rounds a year. Annually, we contribute $250,000 worth of opportunity to individual community members in the 7-county area. We give 100 $2,500 grants or investments in the areas of health and wellness, education, economic independence, and culture and language. And this year, officially, we've also started investing into our youth. So we give $3,000 worth of investments each round to our youth that want some support in all 4 of those banners. So yeah, we're in the midst of a grant round. We have a current grant round open, and that closes on September 15th. But the next grant round will open on January 1st and close on March 15th. And we do workshops, application workshops for each grant round. You can come. Trickster Tacos normally feeds the participants. And we spend about an hour and a half really talking about the importance of how to put an application together.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I really liked what Nikki had to say today about, how these are given out, and I like the different verbiage as a grant. These are gifts to get people over the hump to take care of their families and economic development in many different ways. It's amazing. And what was amazing today too, I saw a musician that years ago got a grant for a laptop to do his music, and he was there again. I feel like all the time he stops by and supports this because it got him a great start as a young person.
Yeah, there's so many community members that I'm just becoming aware of that. Hey, boy, you've just been in our community so long. You're just rocking it out. And, through our conversation, it always comes back to, yeah, well, when I wasn't struggling a little bit, I was fortunate enough to get a grant through the Tawahi Foundation. So, I've only been there 5 years now, and I'm still learning that how far our reach has gone into our community. It's just a great place to be, and we're doing such good things. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. How long has Tawahi been around? Because today I heard something kind of staggering. I didn't know they were around this long.
Yeah, so the American Indian Family Empowerment Program, that's the program that I oversee. That was the original beings, and that was founded about 32 years ago or so. And we worked as a designated donor fund. A couple different foundations kind of led us. But about 16, 17 years ago, our fund got its own native board and became our own physical foundation. So about 16 years ago, the American Indian Family Empowerment Program turned into the Tawahi Foundation, and then our program is still the flagship of the foundation. But yeah, we've been giving into the community for a long time.
Wow, 32 years. That is a long time. Hey, again, I'm kind of mixing things up here, but I'd love for you to talk about Nashke games in the sense of how people can really, I want to bring this up a couple times so people that are driving or listening to the radio or aren't listening to this as a podcast where they can pause it to how people spell out Nashke in the games again, please.
Yeah, if you just go to our website, it's Nashke, NASHKE.com. And if you want to see all the work we're doing in the community too, I'm an older guy in Aki Wahinsey, so Facebook's my mode of social presence. But if you go check out our Facebook, you'll see all the work that we're doing in the community, schools, programs, summer programming, just everything that we've been doing.
Well, and two, what's exciting too, I wanted to say this, your game's going to be at Native Roots Trading Post, and also you're going to be at the State Fair on the 30th from 9 to 5, but I think you're going to get there at 6 in the morning.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you say
they
that
want
to
us
me?
there early, so I like to show up early, so I'll get set up and our team get ready for our team to come in, and I'll get it all set up.
That's awesome. I just want to say it's so great to see organizations like Tawahi and your games really, be successful. And that's one thing we really like to do here in Native Roots Radio is not only talk doom and gloom. I like talking about doom and gloom here once in a while, but the success stories and the stories that really, really are helping the community in so many different ways. I just want to say that I'm so happy that you were able to come on today in such short notice too, and be able to talk about this because this is what it's all about for us in natives. We have been surviving for so long and we're thriving too.
Yeah, and I appreciate the publication too. It's just my dad, he used to get beat up because he's Indian, and now I'm on this radio show with you. It's good that we're uplifting our people, and yeah, I thank you too. I really appreciate you too.
It's so funny too. You have an article. We have less than a minute here. You have an article in the Circle news magazine, and it's up on the website. So a big shout out, and then I was trying to show you this person here is Ojibwe, and I have an Ojibwe cover and a Dakota cover, and you you helped me get this person to do the cover. So that's put me in a good home, I guess. I have a good memory, but it's short. But I want to say thank you for all that too, because you really helped with the Circle too.
Chimigwich, my friend, Chimigwich.
Great to see you. Hey, up next, Wendy Pilot with our Sacred Animal section. This is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Thanks, Tony.
Planning to ride Metro Transit? Starting Saturday, August 22nd, quarterly service changes will take effect on some bus and rail routes. These regular updates help Metro Transit match service to customer needs and make the best use of available resources. Before you travel, check to see if your route is affected. Updated schedules and a summary of all service changes are available now at metrotransit.org. Again, find those changes at metrotransit.org.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family. time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
This is Robert Pilot. At the Great Minnesota Get-Together, Native Voices take center stage on Indigenous Peoples Day at Dan Patch Park, August 30th. A full day of programming showcases Indigenous peoples' interconnectedness through language, culture, art, and food. Enjoy theatrical performances, music, dance, and presentations along with more than 20 exhibitors from across the state. This is all free with fair admission. Tickets are just $17 at mnstatefair.org through August 26th. That's the Minnesota State Fair, August 27th through September 7th.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back. This is Native Roots Radio, and Wendy's on here with our Sacred Animal section. Wendy, I was at a event today, and it's always good to hear the elders talk about how important our relatives that crawl, that swim, that fly to us, and you really amplify that so much. I was thinking about you when I heard that today, and thank you so much for coming on and talking about our sacred animals.
Thank you for those kind words. Hey, everybody, my name is Hanajihihani. That means cares for them, and I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga. That means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, and I work on animal issues on the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. Speaking of the wolves, I'm going to be talking about the wolves today. Remember the story about the wolves that were reintroduced in the mid-1990s to Yellowstone National Park because there weren't any wolves and the elk population was taking over and eating all the shrubbery and all of the good things that need to grow there. But I want to go back a little bit. I want to ask everyone for help with the wolves because they're in trouble. So why did the wolves leave in the first place? Why weren't there any more wolves left in Yellowstone National Park? The reason is because early settlers came in and the government programs hunted them and trapped them and poisoned the wolves because they wanted to protect the farm animals, right? So the settlers came in, they had farm animals, cows and sheep and goats and whatever, and they didn't want the wolves to kill those animals. So what did they do? They killed the wolves. The last native Yellowstone wolf pack was killed in 1926.
Wow.
And without any wolves, the elk population grew so large and there were just too many elk, and they ate all the young willow and aspen trees to the ground. So there wasn't any more vegetation. So without all the vegetation and the trees and all of that, there weren't any roots to go around the river to keep the riverbanks in. The birds left, beavers left. There weren't little pools in the rivers because the beavers weren't there to build dams, so there weren't any fish. And it was really just desolate. The Yellowstone Park just became desolate without the wolves to hunt these elk. So what happened was the U.S. government listed the gray wolf as endangered in 1973. And officials wrote a plan to bring the wolves back. In January of 1995, biologists brought the first group of gray wolves from Canada, and workers kept the animals in large pens for a short time to get them acclimated to the area. And then eventually they opened up the gates and let these wolves out. And what they found was just amazing. And after a very, very short time, there were fewer elk. The wolves hunted the elk, which lowered their numbers and changed where they grazed. So instead of being out in the open, they went into the woods, and the elk, because they wanted to hide from the wolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the elk went into the woods and hid there and ate there. So then more plants and the willows and the aspens grew back along the riverbanks because the elk no longer ate every young shoot that came up. The beavers came back, trees returned, so the beavers came back and built dams and created new wetlands. More wildlife, birds, fish, and smaller animals returned as the habitat healed. So the wolves healed the habitat, and Yellowstone has been just a beautiful, biologically diverse area, and it's grown and it's beautiful. The problem is, right now, what's happening per the Center for Biological Diversity. Now, if you go on their Facebook page, this is a really good organization that help the wolves. They want to help the wolves. They're called the Center for Biological Diversity. And what's happening right now, Yellowstone's oldest wolf pack could be killed this fall. It's called Molly's Pack. It's the last remaining pack originally established during Yellowstone's historic wolf reintroduction. It includes a matriarch, and they call her 1090F, the park's oldest living wolf. But the pack, listen to this, the pack has moved just outside the park boundaries, and they established a den where 4 wolves can be legally killed this fall during Wyoming's wolf hunt season. Yes, just because they went over this imaginary line. Molly's Pack has helped rewrite one of the greatest wildlife recovery stories in the world. They shouldn't be torn apart for crossing an invisible line on a map. So, this organization, Center for Biological Diversity, on their Facebook page, they have a button that you could pick, and you pick it and you put your information, and you're signing a petition telling the government that you do not want these wolves hunted in this area. So you're telling the Wyoming Game and Fish Commission to protect Molly's Pack by closing the hunting district where the pack has dispersed. So that's what we want to do. We want to keep these, the animals don't know that if they go 100 yards this way, they could be shot. And if they stay over here, that they're safe. They don't know that. They're just being wolves. They're just being animals. And just because they cross this invisible line, their lives are now in danger this fall when the hunting season opens. So
hunting season.
It is. So that's what they call it, a hunting season. It's not. It's a killing.
Slaughter.
It is a slaughter. They don't do anything with the wolf. They don't eat the meat. They don't use the fur for anything. It's just a slaughter. It's a slaughter. That's what they're going to be doing. And we need to keep the wolves because it caused, they make the land beautiful. We need these apex predators to keep the elk and deer and moose, all the populations of these herd, these hooved, that's what I meant to say, hooved animals from eating all the stuff.
I'm so glad you brought up this story again, because we've talked about it over the 10 years we've been on.
Yeah.
And also I was wondering if that was what was happening, because I know it seems to me that there's a certain amount of wolves in Yellowstone, but it's never gotten bigger because of this kind of thing.
Right. It takes care of itself. It just, the they just take care of
Mm-hmm.
themselves, just leave them alone and nature will take its course,
Right.
and the sick wolves will get sick and die, and the other
Mm-hmm.
ones will be stronger and reproduce, and it's just nature taking its course, and making there is a video, if you want to go online, it's called How Wolves Change Rivers, and
Mm.
it's it's like a 3-minute video, and it's
Oh.
beautifully illustrated, and this guy with a wonderful, I think it's a English accent, tells the story about this, and it's just nice to listen to and to hear his voice, and he's so excited about how Yellowstone is just a beautiful place now, and there's so much biological diversity there because of the wolves. So we don't want these wolves killed. So if you find it in your heart, go on to Center for Biological Diversity and sign their petition. The more signatures they get, the better. So we need to do that. It takes
Perfect.
literally 10 minutes. Once you sign the petition, they will, of course, ask for money or a donation. You don't need to send the money in order for your signature to mean something. So if you can't send them any money, don't, but sign that petition.
Perfect. Hey, and let everybody else know too, there's a petition about Pipestone happening right now live. Show up and they'll help you how to do that petition. And Wendy, thank you for that talk about the petition. It's always great to talk about our sacred animals and how important they are. And I just have to say this one thing, and we got like 10 seconds here, is like, okay, our white allies need to be careful of the bison.
Yes, be careful of the bison. Stay away from them.
Right on. Hey, this has been Native Roots Radio. Thanks, Tony, Miisko, and of course, Wendy. Have a great day. You've been listening to Native Roots Radio.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American